Hello and welcome to VegasInsider.com. I'm Toby Maxtone-Smith. We're going to be looking at the weekend round of English Premier League matches and we're going to be looking for some good bets. Let's start with Leicester City against Crystal Palace. It's a big game for Leicester in their faltering chase for the top four. They've only picked up 2 points from their first 3 games since the restart, also went out of the FA Cup, and actually they've been in pretty poor form ever since January. They're very short here at 8-13, and I think this is a chance to get with Palace. Palace are 11-10 double chance, Palace or draw, and I think that represents serious value. Recent away wins for Palace away at Brighton and Bournemouth, and they're a team that are generally better away from home, well suited to playing on the counter-attack against, on paper, better teams. So for me, Palace look like a really good bet. Also in the top 4 race, we've got Wolves against Arsenal. Wolves are 6-5 here to win at Molineux. Now, there are no fans, so maybe home advantage counts for less, but even so, Wolves are just a better team than Arsenal at the moment, and I think 6-5 is a really good bet. Arsenal beat Norwich 4-0 last time out, but I think we can kind of ignore that game a little bit. Norwich only had one fit centre-back and are probably relegated already. It was the perfect game for Arsenal. Wolves are just very clinical. 3 wins out of 3 since the restart. Very good defensively, a system that's very hard to break down with 5 defenders. Arsenal, just very inconsistent, very bad at winning away from home. Wolves, great bet here, I think. Staying with the top 4 race as well, we've got Chelsea against Watford, which is the final game on Saturday. We're going to be looking at a slightly different kind of bet here, which is Christian Pulisic to score first. Pulisic has been in fantastic form since the restart. He'd had a bit of an up and down season before the lockdown, few injuries, not quite getting into the team, only kind of 5 games in a row he'd start, no more. But he's been Chelsea's main creative force since the restart. Scored their first goal against Aston Villa, scored their first goal against Manchester City, also had one cleared off the line in that game. And also recently against West Ham, a game Chelsea lost 3-2, he won Chelsea's penalty and also won the free kick from which they got their second goal. Pulisic is in great form for Chelsea at the moment, and their strikers are not. Tammy Abraham and Olivier Giroud kind of struggling in front of goal, which really opens up space for Pulisic to become a main man at Chelsea. And finally, we've got Burnley against Sheffield United on Sunday. This is an interesting game. Both teams have been at kind of different ends of the table for most of the season. Burnley at the bottom, Sheffield United pushing for Champions League places before the lockdown. But Sheffield United have hit terrible form since the restart. And Burnley are now actually above them after a really good recent run. Burnley are very good at home, so I'm kind of puzzled as to why bookmakers rate this game absolutely dead on 50-50. And I'd be with Burnley all the way here. Both teams are pretty defensive, so a draw is quite a short price at 2-1. So maybe your best bet is to go draw no bet, i.e. draw, you get your money back. And at 10-11, I think Burnley represent fantastic value here. Thanks very much. We'll be back next week with some more tips for you.